On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at the Specialized Rockhopper Elite. We're going to go into some of the features and designs of this Rockhopper Elite, talk about the 27.5 and the 29-inch version of the bike, as well as we're going to, of course, find out exactly what it weighs. But as we take a look at this bike, I'd love for you to put your comments about the features and the part spec of this bike down in the comment section below, so that way we can chat about what comes on this Rockhopper Elite. So let's get into the bike. Now, checking out this bike, the Rockhopper has taken on new life in this new frame set. So in 2021, this bike now comes in both a 27.5 and a 29-inch tire version. And that's because Specialized in the past used to make the Rockhopper be the 29-inch version of the bike and a bit more XC style, whereas they also had their pitch bike, which was the same quality, but it came with a 27.5-inch tire and was more oriented towards that more trail style rider. And that has all changed for 2021. Now, from extra small to medium, you can get this bike in a 27.5-inch version, and from size small to double extra large, you can get this bike in a 29er. The version we're taking a look at today is the 29-inch version, running these nice ground control tires, and its geometry is pretty fun for an entry-level bike. Now, make no mistake, this A1 aluminum frame from Specialized is a really nice frame. You know, it runs things like internal cable routing. It still has rack mounts if you wanted to run a rack on the bike, but this is a beginner mountain bike, so it's really for somebody who's getting into mountain biking, and the Elite level sits it kind of in the middle of the scheme as far as part spec is concerned. With that said, it's going to have a 68.5 degree head tube angle. It's going to have a 73.5 degree seat tube angle, and then a longish 440 millimeter chainstay. Now, what those numbers mean is with that 68.5 degree head tube angle, this definitely falls into that XC to trail territory. It does run 100 millimeters of suspension on the front end, so it's definitely not going to be a brawler for doing downhill, but it's an awesome place if you're looking for a mountain bike that can kind of do all sorts of terrain. You're looking for a mountain bike that can also do family duty or even be a commuter as well. The bike really has the ability to do a bunch of different things. Now, that 440 millimeter chainstay is a little long on a hardtail, but that's going to make the bike a bit more confident when descending, and it's also going to make it much easier to climb up hills because the front end of the bike's not going to want to be popping up on you. For a fork, this is a place that the Elite really shines. It's got a RockShox Judy fork. So this is a 100 millimeter travel solo air fork, so air adjustable on the Elite level. It is running a 9x135 standard quick release up front, but you're going to have a lockout, so you can adjust this from all the way open to bring it down and begin to lock out the fork. It's also got this nice black stanchion to it, and the overall look of that fork is super sweet. But the magic, of course, is going to be in that air adjustment. So with a shock pump, you can connect up to the Schrader valve and be able to add or remove air to get the fork's spring rate to match exactly how you want to be riding. Tires on the bike are going to be the Specialized ground control tires. These are a 29 by 2.3 tire. It's got a nice XC to trail style tread, so you've got reasonably fast rolling, but you've got decent side knobs. These are 60 TPI, both in the front and the rear, and they run a Gription compound, which is pretty sticky. The drivetrain on the bike, this is pretty sweet. So we've got a 1x10 drivetrain from Shimano. This is running Shimano's Shadow Plus GS Cage rear derailleur. This has a clutch, which allows you to turn it on and off. So with the clutch off, your chain's going to kind of bounce around a bit as you go through the trails. Turn it on, and now it's going to have tons of control, and it's going to allow this bike to be pretty silent as you go down the trail. If the chain does slap, you've got a nice rubberized protector on the paint to help keep things nice. And then this is going to have an 11 to 42 tooth Sunrace cassette. So wide range cassette mating up to this 30-tooth chainring on a stout aluminum crankset. This is square taper going into a threaded bottom bracket, and if it's your kind of thing, you can run a kickstand on this bike as well. In the cockpit, you're gonna see a nice stout 31.8 aluminum wide handlebar. It's also set up with a 31.8 aluminum stem going to an integrated 1.1/8" threadless headset. Shifting is being done on the bike using the Shimano Deore shifters. This shifter has a pretty nice setup. You've got a thumb button to go to easier gear, and then you can use an index finger or a thumb to move it to a harder gear. Brake set on the bike is going to be the Shimano MT200 brakes. These are a hydraulic disc brake. It's got mineral oil, and then it's going to run a 180mm rotor up front and a 160mm rotor in the rear. Neat thing with these brakes is they're 2-piston hydraulic calipers with center lock rotors connecting up to some Shimano hubs. And this is a place that the bike definitely shines. So you've got these stout SL wheels with 28 holes up front and 32 in the back. And they're running on some Shimano RM35 hubs. So that's going to be a pretty reliable wheel and hub set on this bike. And I like to see that they're using all these Shimano parts because it really bodes well for the durability. So now that we've taken a look at this Rockhopper Elite, let's go ahead and find out what this bike weighs on my scale. Actual weight for the Specialized Rockhopper Elite is going to come in a pretty lightweight 28.2 pounds. Well, thanks so much for watching this video on the Specialized Rockhopper Elite 29. Go ahead, make sure you leave those comments down below. Let me know what you think about this bike. While you're at it, be sure to leave a thumbs up. That way I know you enjoyed it, as well as hit that subscribe button. That way you can see more videos like this in the future.